All right, so y'all are not gonna believe what just happened for this big Nigel Sylvester Jordan 4 restock shock drop. So I guess to start things off, this all began kind of late Friday evening where we got word that potentially we would see this sneaker drop, as it was loaded up on the back end of Nike servers. So you guys know these cook groups, Eldon monitors, they were up on it. Any type of activity that happens on the back end of Nike servers, they're gonna see what's going on, and they kind of let people know. Eldon monitors hit us with a little teaser. Meanwhile, all of your favorite cook groups, if you guys are subscribed to any of those, pretty much let the word out Friday night that as far as Saturday, we could look forward to these joints restocking. They didn't give us a specific time, release details or anything like that, but being as it is Nigel Sylvester's birthday, it did make pretty much a lot of sense. But then on the other side of things, like for me, I kind of talked about it in my video, like how could Nike and Jordan Brand restock a limited collaboration such as this? Like in the past, how many times have we actually seen them do something like that? So as far as the odds of these restocking, I felt like, it was pretty much unlikely, but you guys know these cook groups, they were vouching for it. Eldon monitors, his track record seems to be very on point. So I was just kind of running with it. We'll see what happens. If it restocks, awesome for everybody else. If not, I mean, I ain't stressing about it. I wasn't about to be here glued to my phone all day, waiting on a chance to be able to grab these, because as I spoke on it, I was guessing that there's probably not too many pairs left over from the initial drop, which happened earlier this year. But when you talk about this sneaker right here, this is one of those ones, right? Like definitely one of the hottest Jordan releases of the year. A lot of people would call this one sneaker of the year, which is debatable, kind of depending on how you look at things, but that's not what we're really here for. We're here to talk about how this drop went down. So of course, in the morning, everybody was sitting around waiting for this drop that happened. We're talking about like 10 a.m. in the morning. People were banking on a potential drop. Of course, we did have the Shattered Backboards release, which it kind of felt like this Nigel drop like overshadowed that whole release. I know everybody wasn't too hype on those, being as there was a whole bunch of stock, but it seemed like everybody was just sitting around glued to their phone, waiting on these Nigels to potentially restock, refreshing Twitter, watching live streams, refreshing the sneakers app. So 10 o'clock came and passed. They were saying then noon, then they were saying 1 o'clock. That kind of came and went. 3 o'clock was another time that people were eyeing. And at this point, a lot of that doubt started to kick in. Like again, one of Nike's more limited collaborations, hyped up releases. When do we actually see Nike do something like this? So, all of the doubts were starting to kick in. People were like, there ain't no way. Everybody started to joke, talking about the information was incorrect. But then we started to get word that, the restock could potentially happen that evening. And then some people also allude to the fact that, I guess, what was it, last year with the Wu-Tang Dunks, those actually shock dropped at midnight, another release which Eldon monitors did tease. People doubted it, and then with that midnight drop, a lot of people had success. So when you talk about a drop like this, it was pretty much a waiting game. People were feeling like they could drop anytime from the evening to midnight. But then something very interesting happened around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. We started to see more of the clothing, actually, that was a part of this collaboration, load up onto the back end, and this is where things started to get real. This was like that kind of 30-minute window. All the cook groups were letting you guys know, to be on alert. It could be a possible sneakers link to follow Nigel Sylvester's account and everything like that. And then something really crazy happened at around like 8:27 or something like that. The cook groups, they actually discovered the link. So this was the exact link that I guess Nigel's team was supposed to post up via Instagram or Twitter, however they felt like posting it, and then have people actually click the link. So they discovered the link around 8:27. At that point, everybody already was passing that joint around like crazy. It actually turned out to be one of those little sneaker scratchers. So you had to scratch the little image or whatever. After you scratch the picture, this little clip came up, and basically you could just X out the clip because that would save you a couple of seconds. And then people were actually able to successfully grab these joints before Nike, Jordan Brand, Nigel Sylvester, any members of his team were able to actually get the link out to the people. This joint was already cooked up by the cook group. So you can imagine, like, these people are all celebrating their success. They're like, woo, popping champagne, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff, probably posting screenshots to their Twitter accounts, to their Instagram accounts, just basically celebrating and flexing to everybody that they were actually able to get one of the more limited restocks of the entire year for one of the most hyped drops that we've seen this year. So everybody was all hype about the release and everything like that, but then kind of like an hour after everybody was flexing their W's, some unfortunate turn of events actually took place where we started to actually get cancellations, which popped out of nowhere. So apparently what happened was these cook groups, as I mentioned, they got a little bit ahead of the game. They actually did discover the link before anybody from Nike's team was able to actually, drop it. It was supposed to be kind of like how we saw for them SBs, where Eric Costin, posted the link, then everybody was able to grab them. So it was a little premature. It seems like the cook groups kind of ruined everything. And from the top, Nike decided to just pretty much cancel the entire drop. So everybody that was out here flexing them W's, them smiles quickly turned into frowns. And of course, you already know, they were taking it out on Nike customer service team members. I heard reports and different little stories about people like cussing out people on the phone, complaining about the cancellation, which at the end of the day, bro, like these people that work for Nike customer service, they're probably out here like making minimum wage. They're probably like based out of India or something like that. They probably don't even know who Nigel Sylvester is. So it's like, they could really care less about y'all arguing, cussing them out on the phone. And Nike probably flagged y'all's account, you know what I'm saying, for wilding out like that on the phone. So don't take it out on the customer service reps, bro. Like, they don't have nothing to do with it. It seems like some of the higher ups at Nike decided this was not the way it was supposed to go down. Like, they pretty much ruined Nigel's birthday, by posting a link ahead of the time when it was actually supposed to go out. So it looks like the entire release was canceled, bro, and they're over here taking out on these poor customer service reps who really don't know anything about what's going on. So as far as the cancellations, that's just kind of how the game goes, man. It's kind of crazy to think, but then again, at the end of the day, these people that are in these cook groups, they're paying membership fees, 30, 50, 100, 200 bucks a month to be a part of these cook groups, which at the end of the day, I mean, it's up to you if you guys feel like it's worth it. When you talk about these cook groups, I feel like it's kind of almost having like somebody walk you through all of the releases. They provide the stock numbers and everything like that. And then every so often, you do get an early link or an assist like this, which kind of makes being a member worthwhile. But at the end of the day, like, bruh, they literally canceled the link. Y'all jumped the gun and kind of ruined it for everybody. But I mean, I feel like based off the fact there was probably barely any pairs anyways, like if everybody would have knew, we probably wouldn't have had success like that anyway. So cook groups, they ruined that joint a little bit early. I can't believe it actually did go down like that. Can y'all believe that there was people glued to their phone all the way since like Friday night through Saturday morning, watching live streams, literally ruining their entire weekend, just kept refreshing Twitter and the sneakers app all day? And can y'all imagine if you actually had success on the drop and then they canceled it? Like, y'all literally just ruined your entire weekend for probably like a couple of 100 pairs of Nigels, or like the people would say, like 50 pairs or something of Nigels like that. So crazy, wild weekend, but I guess that's just what it is with sneakers. Like, it's ups and downs, but sometimes guys should know like which battles to fight and which ones to just leave for like the whatever you want to call these type of folks right here. So this is wild. The restock did actually go down, but unfortunately everything was canceled. Now, what's interesting to me, right? So they did actually have everything planned to restock. It was supposed to be a sneakers link with a little scratcher and all that, which that's cool and everything like that. But what this actually means is that there is still pairs out there. It's just a matter of how many of those pairs there is. Some people are saying 50, maybe a couple of 100, who knows, maybe even 1,000 or something like that. So as far as the leftover pairs, what are they gonna do with it? I guess they did have these planned to drop for Nigel's birthday. They decided to ruin the birthday festivities. So as far as the leftover pairs, what are they gonna actually do with those? Are we gonna see a restock go down at a later date? I guess this story is not officially over just yet. But as far as the shock drop, LD Monitors, they were definitely onto something. It seems like their track record continues to be accurate. And it was planned to go down. It just prematurely got a little bit leaked ahead of the drop. So as far as the leftover pairs, we'll have to wait and see what Nike decides to do with those. So I guess you guys can still, keep your fingers crossed, keep your hopes up for a potential restock. We'll just have to see how it all goes down. And when you talk about LD Monitors, we got to salute them because once again, they were right. You know what I'm saying? So definitely worth your while to follow them over on Twitter for the latest sneaker information. So as far as the big restock, that's how it all went down. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys participated. Did you get a W? Were you sitting around all day stressing like a crackhead, trying to get these joints or not? Just let me know how your weekend went, because for me, y'all already know I wasn't about to waste my whole day trying to get these joints right here, which when these dropped, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I was out, man. I was cooking on the grill, making some burgers and stuff like that. So, having a couple little drinks and stuff like that. So I had no clue these actually dropped, until this morning, figuring out how it all went down, which is crazy hearing these stories. So let me know how everything went for you guys. And as far as this drop, man, we'll see what happens with the leftover pair. So until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. JATV, I hope you guys are enjoying the rest of your weekend. I'll catch you guys on Monday for the latest updates. I'm out. Love.